I can still feel the coarse texture of the wood beneath my fingers, the harsh bite of varnish that seemed to cling to my skin no matter how many times I washed. 6 years ago, I poured my entire soul into a place I believed would be my refuge. But just last month, my own family stripped it away, handed it off like I was nothing more than a shadow in my own life. I'm Lucas. And this is the story of how I lost the home I built with my bare hands, and how I took it back. Back when I was 28, I was barely getting by as a freelance graphic designer in a quiet coastal town. My nights were long, my meals were mostly noodles, and I carried a burning need to prove I was more than just an afterthought to my parents. Maureen and Harold, my mom and dad, owned an old seaside cottage left behind by my great-aunt. It was falling apart. The deck was rotting, the windows were fractured, and the roof let in rain like it was morning. They didn't gift it to me. Instead, they made an offer. I could rent it, for half of what others would pay. It's basically yours, Lucas, my mother said sharply, like she was negotiating a deal over used furniture. I accepted. The place sat just 5 minutes from the shore, where salty wind burned your lungs and crashing waves drowned out the world. It wasn't just shelter, it was a dream waiting to be realized. I threw myself into it. I tore out the warped floorboards until my hands were raw and bleeding. I coated the walls first in soft gray, then changed to a warm cedar when the gray felt too cold. I replaced the rust-stained sink, rebuilt the porch rail, and swapped the ancient heater that wheezed like it was dying. Every job I took, every invoice I chased, every penny I could spare, I funneled it into that home. I didn't hold the deed, but my blood and sweat were in every nail driven into the walls. Each night, I wiped sea spray from the windows, telling myself I was creating something real. My parents would occasionally show up, circling the porch like they still owned it. "You're really fixing this place up," my dad would say, his voice carrying something I mistook for pride. Mom would nod, eyeing the new ceiling fan or the handmade bookshelves. "This place will be worth a lot someday," she'd remark. I thought she meant for me. Then there was Nora, my older sister. She was 32, their golden child. She got violin lessons. I got her leftover drawing pads. She was gifted a car for graduation. I got a pat on the back. When she wanted to pursue graduate school, they paid in full. When I needed a decent computer to work, they suggested I get a loan. I never resented Nora. She was just living her life. But our parents carved a canyon between us, always choosing her first. 2 years ago, they came to me in a panic. "Lucas, we're in trouble," my dad said, not meeting my eyes. "We borrowed $40,000 against the cottage. The bank's after us. We could lose it." Mom leaned in with syrupy concern. "You've made this place yours. If you save it, it'll be yours one day. We promise." 40 grand. It was everything I'd saved. All the missed meals, the endless nights, the hustle. But I trusted them. They were my family. So I sent the money, kept paying the rent, kept sanding and painting. I thought I was securing my future. Then last month, Nora texted me. She was ecstatic. "Lucas, I'm engaged to Owen. We're hosting a barbecue at his parents' place. You've got to come." I was genuinely happy for her. Owen was solid, a quiet carpenter who made her light up. I bought a new navy shirt and drove out to the cliffs, ready to celebrate. The backyard buzzed with music and laughter. Smoke curled from the grill. The ocean roared in the distance. I hugged Owen, caught up with old friends, danced under the lights strung above the trees. Then my father stood on a picnic table, his voice cutting through the crowd. "Everyone quiet down," he called. My mother beamed beside him. "We're so proud of Nora, starting her life with Owen." He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope, handing it to Nora. She opened it, eyes wide. Her laugh turned shaky with joy. "Mom, Dad, this is amazing," she gasped. My mother stepped forward, glowing. "It's the deed to the beach cottage," she announced. "For Nora and Owen, so they can begin their future." Cheers erupted. I stood frozen. The cottage. My cottage. The one I rebuilt from ruins. The one I saved from foreclosure with $40,000. The one I thought would be mine. My fingers clenched around a plastic cup until it split. Then my Uncle Ray cut through the celebration with a voice that demanded answers. Hold on, what about Lucas? He's been living there for years. My dad dismissed him with a casual wave. He'll move out. He's had his run. My mother chimed in. He's young. He'll land on his feet. I wanted to scream, to tell everyone that I paid for the floors, the heater, the roof, that they promised it was mine. But I couldn't speak. The noise around me faded into a blur. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Nora. Vacate within 72 hours. Just like that. No conversation. No explanation. A text to erase 6 years of my life. I was boiling. A firestorm inside. I called my friend Sam, voice trembling. Can I stay with you? I've got nowhere. He didn't hesitate. My cousin's place is empty. He's overseas. Stay as long as you want, no rent. But I wasn't walking away with nothing. The next morning, I made a call. Strip it, I told the crew. The heater, the sink, the shelves, the rails, every last thing I'd paid for. They gutted it in one day. I watched as the cedar floorboards I had laid were lifted out piece by piece. I didn't feel peace, but I felt something close. A rising defiance. Everything I removed, I moved to Sam's cousin's house. Then I mailed the keys back to my parents along with a note. Here it is. As requested. By sunrise, my phone exploded. Calls, texts, accusations. You destroyed our property, my mother shouted when I finally answered. I took what was mine, I said, voice cold and steady. I have receipts. Call the police if you want. I'd love to explain the $40,000 scam you pulled. Silence. Then she tried to spin it. Maybe that money was a wedding gift for Nora. I laughed, bitter and sharp. You lied. You used me. You threw me out. I'm finished with this family. But I wasn't done. Years ago, I'd loaned them my old Ford truck. I was still listed as the legal owner, and it was still under my insurance. They'd been driving it all this time like it belonged to them. I called a tow company. Takes it back, I said, giving them the address. It's mine. An hour later, the driver called. Got it. They protested, but the title shut them up. I don't celebrate the rage that pushed me to act, but I don't regret it either. They stole my home, my trust, my sense of belonging. So I reclaimed what was mine. Now, I'm starting fresh. In a different house, on new ground, with one burning question. What do you become when the people meant to protect you are the ones who break you? I'm finding out. And I won't look back. Screen fades to black. Text appears on screen. Have you ever had to fight for what was rightfully yours? Share your story below.